All right, we're back. Welcome to the afternoon session. Just want to welcome back everyone who was on the morning session, plus all returning subscribers. And anyone, if this is your first time visiting, jump in the chat, introduce yourself, let us know where you're coming from and a little bit about your trading career. We'll get started in a couple minutes. I'll give everyone 1 to 2 minutes to join, and then we'll take a look at what happened this morning, and then we'll get set up for the afternoon. Here we go. Let's just take a peek and see what's that level that price is at now. Where is it coming from? Okay, so as we were building up, this was one of the key levels that was taken early this morning. And now we see a return back down to that same level. Let's move up to the 5-minute to make it a little easier to see. All right, and it's just below the midnight as well. So we have a return to the midnight open value. But let me go ahead and remove this line there. Let's also remove this one. All right, this one is old enough too. We can release it. So now we have a clean chart for the afternoon session. All right, if we just review price just to see where we've come and where we're going. So we have the midnight open, this dashed purple dash line here. It's a midnight value we saw during the London session. We saw a small buy up. It crashed down, sweeping lows, slow build back up until the London highs. And right then, as someone pointed out this morning, a 3 drives pattern, sweep of these equal lows. And then we saw a big bullish movement at 10 o'clock, running up to the previous day high. So Monday and I believe Friday's high have already been swept. Go back and double check that. Yep. So Friday high has been taken. So that's where we saw price buy up to this morning. It bought a little bit higher than that, but after that was done, then we start seeing price crashing down, which is where we are now. We saw a retracement just before lunch at 11. We saw it attempt to make a new high. That was a failed attempt. And then that failed attempt saw even lower prices down to, like I mentioned before, we're down at the midnight open price. So on the daily candle, there is no candle body at the moment, just a wick above and a wick below. And we'll see this afternoon where price wants to end up. And that'll determine what the candle looks like. Actually, let me take that back. The midnight open is not the open. The opening price is at 1800. So that's where the candle body is. So right now, 1800 came from up in this area where we see the green area here. That's where the 1800 values came from. And so we're actually looking at a bearish candle for the daily at the moment. And let me just double check and see where the dollar is. All right, so the dollar had a hugely bullish candle during the lunch hour, taking out the highs of the day so far. similar to what we saw in the indices where they took out lows, swept lows. And so now we have the lowest values of the day for the Dow. The Dow was the weakest of the three anyway. So we saw that this morning where the Dow was a little further behind as far as pushing for higher prices. And now we see the S&P potentially going to take out its lows. It hasn't yet. The lows were put in during the opening bell. And so the S&P hasn't taken that out yet. And the same on the Nasdaq. Not quite. The low for Nasdaq was put in as well at the opening bell. Okay, let's also take a peek at the calendar. So we took a look at this during the morning session where we had a wildly result from the Empire State Manufacturing Index. It wasn't even close to the forecast. Forecast thought they would be, 5 points lower. Last month they were 15 points lower, and now we see 43.7. So it was a massive undersight by the forecasters. But so far we haven't really seen that in our price action. We would expect that what that would have done would be to shoot the value of the dollar downwards. And that may occur now that we've swept highs and made new highs for the day. So that could be what the dollar was doing, was looking for higher prices so it can go lower. But until that happens, we're going to continue to watch the dollar go higher. And in return, we're going to expect that the commodities will follow in the opposite direction and we'll seek lower prices. So we'll just keep monitoring those over the next hour or two and see if we get anything changing. But as of right now, I think I'm going to sit on my hands and just wait for a bit. I attempted a long during lunch break in this area somewhere in here, and it failed on me. So that 10 points I got this morning, I gave it back. Thinking that because I believe at the long when I took it, it was at a retracement of around 70 something percent. So it was down in this range where you would like to take a long down in discount, and it just didn't work out for me. Let's drop down to lower prices, or sorry, to a lower time frame, just so we can see more candles. Okay, let's go ahead and mark out the end of the macro period just so we can see if there's any change in market structure. Algie, Vivian, Triple H, Young, Rand Wolf, Miss Crypto Teach. Good morning. Welcome everyone. Or sorry, good afternoon. Welcome back. Sorry, it's still early for me, but good afternoon to all of you. Another 15 seconds, and then we'll see the close of the macro period. But so far, nothing major has happened. I think we have almost equal highs, but not quite. Good to see. Let's go back to the 4-minute. I want to see how that closed out on us. Already got 10 more seconds. 15. All right. Keep in mind this fair value gap we see below us on this 5-minute is the upper edge is also the midnight open. No, it's a little hard to see. There it is right there. Wow, Vivian, your most profitable day ever is. That's amazing. Congratulations. Pretty good that we now see price breaking that trend. Excellent, excellent. Let's now shift down and see if there's anything to pay attention to. Here are your equal highs. Yeah, so far nothing, but we'll see. Maybe it'll retrace for us, give us something good. All right, just like earlier. As soon as you get the signal that price is moving, it takes off and it doesn't return for you. Can't get FOMO though. Let's see. Has it taken this one yet? So we got equal highs here. All right, now those are gone. Next level. All right, we have the dollar selling. We have other three indices pushing higher. So everything seems to be in sync. Hey, let's see where price wants to go next. Oh, look at that. That was nice. You gonna not tap me in? What's going on? Let's go. Go ahead and get me in. Pick one there and see if it taps me in for a second entry. No, it did come back with a little more energy than I would have liked, but it's at the level. So let's see what we get. We've got about a 71% pullback just now. See if that holds. All right, so we're bouncing between two fair value gaps now. We'll see which side wins. Mm. Right, still trying to figure out if it can make it up to the bearish fair value gap that's above. It made one small pass and was rejected. So now we have a second candle making the same attempt. You're right. It can't do either way. Either way. I think it's worth maybe a little extra protection there. Just say. But yeah, the fair value gap above so far has not been budging, has not really been traded into. Oops. It's still having its same struggles. It's been around in the same zone here for about 5 minutes now. Let's see if it can make another pass at the fair value gap above and see if this time it's a bit stronger. We have equal highs right where it is now. So we want to see if it can break through that and not, there we go. So it broke through, getting closer to halfway, and we'll see where this candle closes out at. All right, so it was rejected below and closed below. All right, that's looking good so far, but not a huge fan of where we are. Glad we were able to break through that a little bit. Let's see if we can get above it. Right, that so far feels good to me. We do need a close above though, so we want to see if it can stay up there. Right, so we took one off there, left one on. See if we can't get something to move back up in the zone here. All right, so I was able to recover from the lunchtime loss that I had. So this morning it was like a 200-point win, and over lunch there was like a 250-point loss, and now that 250-point loss has now been avenged. So now I'm back up 200 for the day, and now we want to see where this, if we can run all the way up to target. If we can run up to target 16,970, this will be this one contract will be worth about $1,000. All right, let's survey the room. Or do we have anyone else in the same long that I'm in, or a similar opening position at 919? All right, a little breakout there, which is good. Let me remove this long tool here. Oh, you're in. Okay, Elena. Good job. Okay. Dustin's in on the micro level, looks like. At 970. Alrighty. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Well, if that's the 15-minute fair value gap, then that's a good place to want to exit. Is that the consequent encroachment? It looks like it. It does. Okay. Dustin, yeah, I wasn't watching the dollar at exactly that moment, so I'm not sure what it did. Let me go back and look at a lower frame. Okay, so the dollar 5 minutes ago was at kind of like an equal low level on the 5 minute, and then it broke through on the current candle about 4 minutes ago. So okay, all right. So it looks like yeah, Dustin, about when the dollar dropped was when we made this big bullish candle here. Now we got relative equal highs. We want to see that push through. Let's see what's this high. 948 over here. 946 and 3/4. This one 948 flat. 948 1/4. Okay. All right. So it's taking out the high by one tick. That usually means we're going to come back because that's not high enough. And that means we should be targeting 959 soon. But we'll see. Get this up a little higher just in case price wants to come all the way through this fair value gap. We want to exit at that time. Right? Price is already traded up. It's traded down and it's traded back up. There's no reason for it to come back down here unless it does not want to go up. It's already filled in this fair value gap. It's already filled in the breaker here. Let's pull this across. So we got a fair value gap here. Well, this breaker's actually, it traded below. So we're going to get rid of this one. That's the thing. If price doesn't want to go up from here, then we want to exit. And we can look for something else later. It'll be enough to get us another 200 on this one, on this contract, even if it comes all the way back. Oh, that's great. Okay, there we go. Took us out. Mm-hmm. Alrighty. Yep. But that's why, yeah, I was looking at I just thought that if price came back down, that there was no reason to go back up if it dug that deep in. Now it might do it now. Who knows? But That wasn't my trade. It didn't feel right. So it was good to exit there. Go ahead and stretch this back out just in case. Okay, 20 minutes to the hour. Oops. There we go. Hmm. Yep, for any diamond hands out there who did not move their stop loss like I did, right? This is your trade still. It was the 1 to 2, so there's only 20 points. If you took it up to that high, that was a 1 to 3. This high is a 1 to 4 trade. Yep. But the 1 to 2 definitely delivered, so it's over now. It actually delivered before it even came back to retrace this leg up here. Already had went through. I was a little skeptical for that reason because it had already reached what theoretical TP I would have taken. I still took the entry when it retraced and it delivered. Yep, unfortunately, I got greedy and didn't take the 1 to 2 trade, so I ended up with half of what I could have had. About 10 points on both contracts. Here we go. Okay, we're traded back down into discount. Here at the breaker block, it's about halfway between 50 and 62%. The fair value gap is exactly at 62%. So anyone looking for those entries? No, I am still a good ways away. Had some bad trades last week of the year. Um, so no, I still got a good ways to go. And I keep getting these small wins too. That's prolonging things. I need to start reeling off some $1,500, $2,000 wins. All right, so we did have a wick into the fair value gap. So another entry for anyone who still believes in this long here. All right, let me just mark off these equal highs as a target for price to move into. I'll leave the Fibonacci up for just a little while longer, just in case it makes us a deeper retrace. We know where it is, but I am optimistic that we may get higher prices soon. Let me go and double check and see where the dollar is. Also, check on ES and the Dow. All right, so ES is looking very similar to NQ. Dow still trailing behind. Okay. Okay, so we had about a 50% retracement into the fair value gap here. Let's see if we get a sweep of this low from 325. I'm sorry, 125. Okay, now we have a push below the breaker actually by one tick below. We see a rejection back into the breaker. See where it closes in the next 5 seconds. Okay, closure inside. But now the next candle is important. Keeps rejecting out of this bearish fair value gap here at 917 or 918. Okay, about 2 minutes away from 150, about 2 minutes away. Okay, we also have equal lows down low. So while we look and see these equal highs, there are also relative equal lows here. And we're really close to that level now. Just move that over so we can see how this candle develops and where the wick is. Okay. See, if we get a closure below, I'll get rid of this breaker. Oh, William, I'm on a 150,000 account. Yeah, it's a good idea, Dustin. Definitely switch over to paper trading if you had a good morning during the afternoon. Make sure you don't give anything back. All right, hang on. Give me one moment. Let me take a look at that. All right, DB. So Topstep for the 50,000 account is $49. It says regularly 165, but it's been 49. They reduced the price back in September, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around that time, and it's been that same price ever since. They've had a few sales. Like 2 weeks ago, they had a 2024 sale where the 50,000 account was only $24 instead of 49. But for the most part, the last 4 months or so, it's been $49. So it's about $1 per $1,000 of funding. So whether you do the 50, the 100, or the 150,000 account, it's up to you which one you want to try to pass and how much funding you want once you become funded. But yeah, that's so the new pricing. It's $49 for the 50,000 account, 99 for the middle, and 149 for the 150,000. No, it is monthly until you pass. Yeah, you'll have to pay a fee to continue to have it activated until you pass. All right, William. All right. Well, good luck to you. Taking it slow is not a bad idea. But yeah, good luck to you. If there's anything we can do to help, let us know. If you have any questions, also throw that out there. Okay, looks like price has retraced all the way back down to the midnight open. Just like we did at 1300. We started off the afternoon session here. We made a big push up for about 60 points or so, 55 points. And now we've made a complete retracement back down. So when you look at market structure, if there's any question about where we are and what we're looking for right now, based on how price has just come from this high, and made its way all the way back down, sweeping this low. We're now in bearish market structure. Right now, it looks like the dollar, as well as all indices, are all selling for the hour. So they are no longer moving the way that they should, which is in opposite direction. So I'm going to pause for a bit until they get back together. And that should take us into the next hour. So we got another 5 minutes and it'll be 2 o'clock. All right. So we had 3 or 4 candles over in this area trade into this gap here, or not the gap, but this midnight open price. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4 times it traded down. Oops, sorry. 4 times it crossed this line. Each time it rejected and gave us that higher price at 1300. And now we're down here doing the same thing, where now it's 3 candles in a row have traded down and rejected. So now we want to see, what does price do now? Do we get a massive bullish candle with a lot of energy, or is it just going to trade in this fair value gap and then we see these equal lows swept? Right. So let me remove this, and we don't need this. Just looking to see if we continue lower, where might we go. So we'd be basically going back to the opening bell at 9:30 when price just sold off. And we ended up down in this area. So the 16,860 to 16,890 area. Right, there's those 3 lows that have been swept, as I just mentioned. Um, the only other thing that's associated with taking the Top Step challenge is, once you pass and you activate your account, and you get your funding, I think there's a registration fee of, I don't know, $49.99, something like that. It's a one-time fee. And then you have your funding, and then you're off to the races, and that's the last that you pay. Yeah, you're right, Dustin. It's definitely and another thing, Dustin, to pay attention to is, go back and look at how price delivers on days after a holiday. So we have plenty of holidays just recently, with Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving. But yeah, if you go back through all the days, whether it's, I guess we have, a Veterans Day in November, I believe, and Labor Day. So if you just go back through those U.S. holidays and look at how price delivers the day after, you'll see that it's not exactly straightforward, and there's a lot of retracement going on. Okay, look and see if we get some real energy over here. Once again, as I was talking about this midnight open price, 1, 2, 3, 4, all rejecting, closing above, and now we see price action pushing for higher values. Nah, that wasn't great. um, Vivian, the way I've had CFDs explained to me and the difference between futures is CFDs. They have instructions, I guess, from the main exchange, but every broker will have slightly different values. They also have different spreads, and so the spread can, in a lot of cases, when you're trailing your stop loss or you're close, the broker has the ability to open up the spread if they like, and so they usually do when they get close to your stop loss, and so that's how you get hit a lot. Um, However, with futures, the way it's been explained to me is that it's only everything is coming from these guys here, CME. So we're all using the same charts. The broker doesn't have any leeway to do anything different. It's all the same. And that's why if you're doing your own live funding, you have to pay $5 a month for live data because you can only trade it with live data. If you're doing a funding challenge, that live data is covered for you, so you don't have to worry about that. But that's how I had it explained to me was that CFDs, the broker has a little more flexibility in how price is delivered. Whereas when you're looking at futures, there's only one exchange. Everyone's using the exact same one at the exact same time. Um, and so you have a more comfort that we're all working against the same odds as opposed to the broker changing the odds on you in their favor. All right, now the test of the midnight open. Right, price is going to go up. We want to see if it holds here. No, Vivian, I use TradingView. So with Topstep, I believe also with Apex, they allow you to use TradingView. You go through an intermediary. So there's a broker called Tradovate that you sign into. But you don't have an account with Tradovate. Your account is with Topstep. And then Tradovate just allows you to log into with your Topstep credentials, which gives you access to trading on TradingView. That was another reason why I really wanted to use Topstep. I mean, Apex does the same, but for me, I was so familiar with TradingView that I didn't want to learn a new platform. Not to mention all of my indicators are here, so it was important that I be able to trade through TradingView. The fair value gap indicator, Elena, is this one. It's called FVG Nephew Sam. Okay. And these are my settings. So I just select time frame chart. So whenever I change a time frame, it just gives me the fair value gaps for that frame, for that time. And then when I switch back, it switches with me. Otherwise, like if you select like 15-minute, it'll show you the 15-minute fair value gap on every time frame. If this one is the most important to you, or if the hourly is important to you, no matter what frame you change to, it'll still show you that one. But I just leave it on chart. So whenever I bounce around, I knew exactly where that fair value gap came from. So FVG Nephew Sam. Okay, we had another 3 attempts to break the midnight open. We see the bodies slightly below, but just slightly, and now we see a big bullish candle above. So you see the bodies are right on the midnight open. It didn't want to drop below, and so far this swing low here, it didn't want to sweep that. It wanted to get really close but not take it out. So now we want to see if we can break this high. Yes, between 2 and 3. So here we are in the silver bullet time frame. Caveman, you're absolutely right. I'm sorry I didn't call that out. I should have. But yes, it is 2 o'clock now, and this is when we look for a silver bullet entry. Hmm. All right, almost equal lows, equal highs. It's yeah, it's 50-50 at the moment, so no trade for me. On all time frames above the 1 minute, it's showing very bearish price action. But again, equal highs, equal lows, trading in the middle of the zone. So I'm gonna stay out for now. Okay, so we did the last candle. We did get a close below the midnight open, so that could point to lower prices. Okay. Now that we've swept lows, let's see if we get a run on the highs. Either that or we get stuck in a fair value gap and then continue lower. Hmm. No problem, Elena. Glad I could help. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. Hmm. Okay, we're getting close to our 8:30 open, which is at 884 and a quarter. Just below this fair value gap is it's a dotted line, which is faint, so it's a little hard to see. Okay, we're right there now, just past it. Just took it out. Right. I'll leave this line up here at 909 just so we continue to monitor whether we take out those equal highs. But for now, it's pretty clear we're bearish and looking for lower prices and lower levels of liquidity. So let's try to find that. So for now, we'll just monitor these fair value gaps and see if it can break through both levels, get down to closing below 16,862, and at that point, we'll look for other key levels. But for now, we'll just pay attention to these two and see if price can break. Hey, let's look and see what ES did. All right, so yeah, so ES finally swept out its pre-market low, just like the Dow did during lunch. I know Nasdaq and ES were in similar levels. Let's now go and see where's the pre-market low for. Oh, okay, got it. So it's down at 854. 854 is that level. And if we want to look at the daily low, we're talking about down at 813. So what did I say, 854? So we'll mark that up. Okay, another 20 points, and then we'll see that pre-market low. Looks like the first fair value gap is not going to survive very long. All right. So who's in a short, and what type of targets are you looking at? All three indices are moving together now. They're all three at their lowest values of the day, or at least in this session, lowest values of the hour. The dollar so far this hour hasn't done very much. It's just kind of been hanging out. So I'm assuming now what the dollar wants to do is to allow the indices to reach whatever target they're at, and then they'll all start to move again once they reach that target. So for now, we're waiting for Nasdaq to hit that pre-market low that I have marked up at 855. So it's about another 17 points or so. And its time right now is 2:20. Yep. Given the time that these candles hit this fair value gap, it's safe to say this was the silver bullet this hour. And out of these fair value gaps down to just a low hanging fruit low of this one here, or the previous candle low of 890, entry of around 906. So it was 15 point. If you wanted something super quick, or if you wanted to hang on, you're still in now, and have already gathered up about 40 points so far. Let me drop back down for a second. No, I only do the E mini. Sorry, I'm not doing the triple Q. So we say 855 and then 811 or 812. Okay, let's go and see where that level is. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So the low of London, which also is the low of the day. Hmm. Okay. I like this reaction out of the fair value gap here. Mm-hmm. Let's go to the 15-minute and just take a peek there. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, now 6 and 7. Right here's a 15-minute view of the entire day. Just to see where we've been, where we are, and potentially where we're going. Okay. Retracement, we're talking about getting really near to the 83.5. If we make it to the pre-market low, then we have passed the 83.5. We're probably halfway between 83.5 and 88.6. Just keep those levels in mind. Oh, no problem, Vivian. If you have any other questions, please just throw it in the chat. Let's keep it going. Keep this interactive. It's like yeah, let's not be afraid to ask questions, because the quicker you can get your answer and move on, you can that's the sooner you get to the finish line where you're a profitable trader and making money the way that you want to. Another 4 minutes on this 15-minute candle. So we'll wait for it to close and see what we have after that. Okay, we are getting some retracement on the other two indices as well. Very similar in size as the one we're seeing now on Nasdaq. And the dollar, like I said, the dollar has been pretty lethargic this hour. Let me drop down to the 1 minute just to see if there's anything to pay attention to down here. All right, so now we're trading in between the 8:30 open at 684 and the midnight open. I'm sorry, 894 and 884. So about 10 points here in between those two key levels. We'll see if we lose that level and sweep these lows down to the pre-market low, or if it continues to build and we end up getting these equal highs. Three minutes before half of the hour, almost 2:30. All right, since we're at about the halfway point here, we got another hour and a half of our session today. Gonna run and refill my water bottle, get ready for the second half, and we'll see where price is when I get back. Hopefully it's taken out those equal highs, but if not, we'll assess that at that time. And I just want to send out a reminder for everyone who has not liked the video yet. Go ahead and hit that like button so we can get some more traders in for the second half of our session this afternoon. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me out quite a bit. So hit the like button, please. Thanks. All right, I'm back. Thank you all for hanging in there, holding on with me. Hmm. Okay, got a 50% retracement just off of this leg here. The moment doesn't really mean anything, but it is a good sign for how price is building. But until we can get these equal highs, it won't really mean anything to us. DB, I'm using TradingView. It's a free platform to use. It's a little limited on the free side. You only get like 2 indicators and things like that, a handful of alerts. But it's a very intuitive charting system, and it's widely used by a lot of traders. So I really like it. So it's good that I'm able to trade Topstep through the same platform I was using before. Yep. If you haven't used TradingView before, there is a link in my description where you can go ahead and sign up for an account and start using it. TradingView is free. They have some other options where you can add, like if you want to look at the 30-second chart, or you want to add more alerts, so you can upgrade. But the base is free on TradingView. Oh, thanks, Dave. I take it you say we were long. That means you must have got in somewhere in here. Oh, I see. Okay. Guys, for everyone who's new to the room or has not been trading on YouTube for a long time, if you look in the comment section, Dave teaches. He also has his own YouTube channel, and he specializes in short-term scalping. In fact, the way that you watch me scalp, that Fibonacci of the 30, 50, 70 is what he likes to use the most. So if you have some time and you want to learn more about scalping, jump over to Dave's channel. He has some good tutorials to watch. 12-minute wick, 50%. Okay. The 12-minute. Okay, sweet. In fact, just to go a little bit further on Dave Teaches, anyone who's watched that Stoic TA video that I gave you the link to for market structure, he's taken a lot of Dave Teaches concepts and he put it into that video to I guess make it a little shorter and maybe streamline the content a bit. But yeah, a lot of that comes from Dave. So we're all using concepts coming from different traders. But I did want to let you guys know that Dave has his own channel with some good information for any new trader looking for some extra tutorials, or that you get stuck in market structure and you want to have a better understanding. Dave Teaches has some good videos too. How do you get March 24th chart on TradingView? What am I? Oh, okay. Got it. So you're looking for this quarterly chart. All right. So when you're over here on the side and you're looking for commodities, you're in futures, right? You want to break this down and so you can see different ones. So you can either do NQ with the exclamation point, which is the continuous contract. It updates each quarter, or you can grab each quarterly chart separately. And we're currently on the March contract. I trade out of the March contract, but I also use the continuous contract when I'm doing my markups or I'm looking back anything further than 3 months. You're not going to see complete data if you're looking at the quarterly contract. So you'll need to look at this one, which is the continuous. So what you see on the side for here, you see I have the continuous contract here, and then I have the quarterly right there. And the quarterly is the one I trade from. But just if you want to know, for the quarterly, it is NQH2024. That's the code. Yeah, I saw Stoic just drop one about, I believe it was about bias or so. I haven't watched it yet. But I did watch the one he did about market structure, as well as the one he did for, I think he said, the only trading strategy you need or something similar. So, all right, let's go ahead and even ourselves up there. See if we can't continue to get that push. Yeah, I want to see a push off of this level. So we just broke the level and I'm okay with a retest, but I don't want to see a retest in I don't want to see it pull back all the way down into the breaker. So I guess about 7 points as a stop loss. Stretch this a bit and let's go ahead and measure out this body of that candle. Okay, good thing the 50% of this candle is right at the retest line, so I'm happy with that. Just don't want to see it get lower. There we go. Bingo. Good job. Alrighty. I like when it pushes through with vigor and without any hesitation. It just pushed right through with that one candle. Unfortunately, sometimes what that means is it's going to keep going. And that part I won't be a part of, but this was a good trade. It was yep. Saw the market structure shift. We had fair value gap traded into. We had another fair value gap to traded into, and then we did a 1 for 2. So we'll go from here. Stop loss goes there. Oops. Oops. And there's your 1 for 2. So that was essentially the trade there. All right. Anyone who's still maybe in long, let's see where. Be careful with this fair value gap here. We're getting close to the high, and this would be the last line of defense. This, a lot of times, is where the failure occurs. You get a full retracement almost to the very last line of defense, and then that's when you see the drop in price. But we do have equal highs here, which, like I said, is going to be a magnet for price. It's going to want to always come back here. And just above, we have the new week opening gap. So we have a lot of places where price will want to go this afternoon. Just be careful if you're in a trade already. Protect your position. Make sure that you do walk away with some level of profit, even if price turns around on you. All right, 250 power hour coming up. Oh, Bob, good to have you. Glad you're here, Bob. I look forward to seeing you in future live streams. If you have any questions or comments, throw them in the chat. If you feel comfortable, let everyone know where you're from and a little bit about your trading journey, how long you've been trading, maybe if you have a favorite trading model, or if not, it's okay. But if you do, go ahead and let us know. All right, so Fauci and Elena, did you two also take the trade setup that I took? All right, we're right at that fair value gap I told you about. Okay. All right, Bob. Well, welcome. Good to have you. Yes, I do mainly trade in Q, but if there's something on ES that you wanted to talk about, don't be bashful. Go ahead and bring up that question. We do have some other subscribers who also trade ES, so we'll see ES come up quite a bit. I also look at ES a lot just for confluence with Nasdaq, so I'm always looking at what ES is doing. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions about it. Relaxation Av, absolutely. I'm glad you like the channel. Let's definitely get the likes up, please. It'd be great if we had, I mean, we were getting 2 weeks ago, we were getting 60, 70, 80 likes in a video. Now we're not doing as well. I do notice that more of our viewers are staying longer, so I'm getting longer views per person, which is great. But I notice that YouTube is pushing us out to fewer and fewer traders. So I'm not sure what that's all about. But we'll keep going as we are. I think the size of our group is still good. We're still much larger than I ever thought we would be in the beginning. So we'll see how this develops. Two-minute. Now we're back down to the 1 minute. So I can take these off. All right. And we can actually move. Let's move up to the 15-minute as we watch price do its thing for the last couple minutes before power hour starts. So again, we go back to looking at the full day view. We can see where price has come, maybe where we think it's going. So we had it retrace all the way down to 80% roughly. And then we seen a buy out of that, trying to see if we can get above these highs. And on this time frame, flip it back to being bullish. But right now we're not there. Well, actually, now that I think about it, we never actually flipped. We never flipped from being bullish on this time frame. We were never able to get to these pre-market lows, which would have flipped us back bearish. All right. Yep. So now let's see if we can't get these equal highs up at 948, which would then give us the momentum to continue pushing higher. Fauci. No, actually, no. I have a friend who lives in Ottawa, and he gave me this shirt. So no, I'm not not a Ottawa like a Senators fan, but I do have this shirt. Any good strategies for my new Topstep account, Robert? Well, Robert, it depends on what type of trader you are. I, for the most part, have learned a lot of what I do from ICT. So I trade a lot of ICT concepts. If you're familiar with that style of trading, You'll probably fit in well with what I'm going to do and what you'll see me talk about, whether it's a fair value gap, a silver bullet, a breaker block, a unicorn setup, any of those type of ICT, the lingo that he uses. But no, I can't really recommend a strategy for you because it really depends on what type of uh, like your personality and what type of trading you like. If you are the type of person that once you enter a trade, you're like super nervous and your hands are sweating and you just can't really calm down until the trade is over. You might fit better in a scalping strategy because the trade will end quicker. You'll know whether you had a winning trade or not relatively quickly. And if you manage to be on side, you can get some quick wins that give you a lot of momentum in your trading journey. But if you can hold longer, it's better to take those trades because you can generally get a tighter stop loss, one that's more predictable, and you can have larger wins. But it just really depends. So hang around here for a while. You can see my style of trading. And if you have any questions about any other type of strategies, let me know or put in the chat someone else, one of the other subscribers. I mean, we have 75 people in the room right now. So there could be another trader who fits your style and can give you some advice. Yeah, trading can be boring at time, Bob. I try not to, I try not to be. But yeah, if you see me and I'm not speaking as often as you would like or so, there's nothing wrong with telling me that you want me to talk more because I'll try to find something to talk about. Yeah, you're right. Trading on TradingView is a big plus. It's just for me, it's just a level of comfort that I want to have. There's so many other variables in trading, and I want my platform to remain the same. The one that I learned on and have been basically practicing with for 2 years. So it was very important that I get a chance to use TradingView with my future trading. Okay, Robert. Good to have you. Glad you've been here for a week and you continue to come back. I hope to that you continue to visit us. And like I say, whenever you have a question, throw it in the chat. Myself, or I try to answer all the questions that I see. But we do have some other subscribers that have been. I've been here now. We're in week 7. But I have a lot of subscribers been here at least for last 5 weeks or so. So they discovered me pretty early, and they'll jump in and help as well. So we try to be a good community that's very helpful to one another. But we're also different style of traders. So where you see me sitting on my hands and not doing anything, you'll see others jump in and chat and say that they're long and have been for the last 30 points and are up big. So um, you'll get everything all across the spectrum in this room. But hopefully you find it enjoyable. All right, Power Hour. Here we are. We're here. So far, it just looks like a slight pullback from this low that was made um, early last hour. Now we went in. We're still waiting to see if we can't get through the 948. 948 was signal that we're going higher. Oh, thank you, Armando. Thank you very much. And that's yeah, a lot of that credit also goes to the subscribers who are very active in the chat. Yeah, Lo, you missed. Dave was he was throwing in some comments about 20 minutes ago or so. Yep, he came in. He said that he was also long. There was a trade that I was in during the last hour, and he came in and he mentioned that he was also in a similar trade. All right, just want to do a quick measurement as to where we've been. All right, 88% retracement on this leg down. Everyone in a trade, keep that in mind. Triple H, I am in America. I'm in the US. I'm in Arizona. Okay, let's see if we can get a return to bullish prices here and still reach that target. About 5 minutes before macro is over. Drop down to the 5 minute chart so we can see the last candle. So far, we've had 4 candles all rejected out of this fair value gap. I knew that would be an area of contention for us, and so I wanted to call that out as an area to be careful with. Also, as you see price kind of get stuck in there, make sure that your stop loss is where you want it to be, just in case price does decide to turn around on you. So far, it hasn't looked like that's what it's going to do, but we are getting a rejection out of that fair value gap. So without further bullish momentum through there, yeah, you just want to make sure that you're being careful and that you understand where the levels are and what you would do if something was to happen. HDS, absolutely. Today was a good day. You're right. But this was the first winning trade I've had. I've had 3 trades before that today. The first one, I got stopped out with about a 10 handle profit. Then the next one, I just lost that trade. I got stopped out with a 12 or maybe a 14 point stop loss. That was over lunch. Then we had just last hour, I think, early on and during this session, I had 2 contracts on, ended up getting about 10 handles for each contract. But it didn't go to profit. It turned around. I moved my stop up and it stopped me out. So I had 3 trades. 2 I got stopped out in profit, and the third one I just lost. And that had me up $200 for the day or so. And then the last trade was the one that actually went the full 25 points and delivered what I wanted it to. Yeah, wave catcher, there should be at least 75, but because I'm sure there are some people who hit the like button and left, but I don't know. I've already asked, and yeah, I won't do it again. Fauci, instead of just listening, because they might be in classwork. Yeah, I figured that a lot. There's quite a few people that are probably not at home watching the charts the way I am, and so they have YouTube on a phone with a earpiece or something, and they're just listening. Yep. All right, so we got another push into the fair value gap, which is good. Hey, Samuel, welcome back. Minus 1.5 on the day in my funded challenge. Ew. Okay. Yep, definitely regroup tomorrow, Samuel. And since you're already down a 1.5, tomorrow make your limit half of that. So make sure you cannot lose more than 0.75. What I would try to do if I were you, I'd set up a trade and have my stop loss no more than 0.5. Actually, if you can get it down to a quarter, that's even better until you start getting some more wins. And when you can recover half of what you lost today, then you can get back close into normal range. But I would reduce risk going forward. Maybe switch down to a micro account or the micro chart, and maybe that'll help out a bit. Make a bit of a recovery before you jump back in. All right. So we tore through that fair value gap, which is good. We'll see where this candle closes, but if it can take out these equal highs before closing, then that's fine as well. All right, Throne, thank you very much. Glad you're enjoying it. And yep, would love to see you come back. Thank you all for the likes. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're up at 54 now, which is a lot better than where we were at before. Hopefully, YouTube um, does a big promotion for us over the next 45 minutes, and we can get some more people in the room for the final 45 minutes today. So as we are approaching now these equal highs, we want to see if price can go higher today or if it's just going to consolidate for the remainder. So it'll be interesting to see once we take out this high, whether we get a fair value gap created that it can trade back into, or if we see a rejection off this new week opening gap. That's interesting. Just that level. Thursday's high. Sorry, I was just measuring this pre-market low from this high from Thursday that we haven't taken out yet. And these equal highs just so happen to be right at 50%. So it just looked weird to me when I saw these three lines that look evenly spaced. But what that is and what that means is that when you're looking at this entire range, anything below is discount, which is where you would want to take a long if you were looking for this high to be swept. So just throwing that out there. All right, so we were not able to close, or we still have 30 seconds left, but we didn't close above this fair value gap, which is why it's still there. This goes at 50. There we go. Just want to see where the 50% mark of this week is. We always like to see price return there to balance it. And I want to see if it continues, because ultimately it needs to get past this 50% mark if we're ever going to get to 948. And that's what we're looking for. It seems like everything's pretty much been on pause since 3 o'clock started. A very small range for the Dow, for S&P here on Nasdaq, as well as the dollar. So the first 15 minutes, not a lot of action at all in the market. There's always a calm before the storm. Oh man. I can't imagine someone like yelling at viewers or being upset because they may be at a lower level and asking questions that he didn't find beneficial at that moment. I can't imagine someone doing that, and also doing this as like you guys don't have to be here with me. So if I don't respect you, you won't be here. So I don't understand how you can get away with that and still have people follow you, even if they respect your skill. But yeah, I mean, you never want to get so big where you feel like you're above people or you can talk to people however you want to. Um, just not a place you want to get to. Yep. Yeah, Dustin, that's most people's biggest problem. It's after 6 months or maybe a year, you know about as many technicals as you need to know. After that, it's conquering yourself because you're going to be in your own way. Everyone has their own relationship with money, so every dollar up and every dollar down means something different to each person. And based on how your relationship is with money, you're going to see every drawdown differently or every take profit differently, and that's the part that you need to conquer. Drawdowns, you need to be able to absorb that and believe that your strategy and you as the individual will get your balance back up to where it needs to be, right? And the same with TP. You don't believe in miracles. You don't believe that, you know it's skill and discipline that'll get you there. So you don't get too overly hyped on the wins. You don't get too overly low on the losses. But yeah, the psychology part is so important, and it's one of the most overlooked ones. Because once we learn the technicals, we can't wait to jump into trading, and then we realize we're not winning, and we think it's the trading plan when really it's us and our own execution. Either we're moving our stop when we don't need to, we're entering at a spot because of FOMO, and we didn't wait for the optimal entry that would have given us the smallest stop loss. Like there's so many different things that can go wrong in a trade, even if you're right. Splash, absolutely. I learned this in my trading journey. There was a time when I wasn't and so what I did is I found the book by Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone, and that's what really allowed me to start the process of calming down and being relaxed. It still was a journey after that, so it wasn't like I saw the book one time and then I was ready to go. It took some time, but that was the start of that journey. So if you click on the Discord in my description, and if you go into the Discord, I think there's a book section, and I put the link, or I put the file there if anyone wants to read that book, Trading in the Zone. There's also, if you just want to listen to it, you can type in Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas in YouTube, and there's several links where someone's reading the book, and you can just listen to it if you want. But it really, really, really helped me quite a bit. Oh, no problem. I'm happy to help. I was in your shoes not too long ago. So if you've been on this journey for 6 months, that was about 2 years from ago for me. If you've been on it for a year, it's about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. I'll be at 3 years next month. So in about another 3 or 4 weeks, I hit my 3 year mark on my journey. Um, but yeah, we all start somewhere. We all have mentors. We all you can't reach the height of your career alone. So we all have people who help us and lift us up. So I'm happy to be there for some of you. Okay, it's on Spotify as well. Yep. So if someone wants to listen to it, definitely it'll help you. It'll help calm your nerves about losing trades. That was the big takeaway I had, is that I walked away after listening to that book and I saw my losing trades completely different. Because first I had to separate the losing trades that were losing because of me, and then the ones that just the trade was a losing trade. I did everything right and it just was a loss. Um, and if you have discipline and sometimes the market just turns against you, those are the ones that you can accept. And those are the ones that the book will talk about directly to you about, and it'll make a lot more sense. Absolutely, Bob. Absolutely. Yeah, I will say on Friday we had a Q&A session because I knew we weren't going to have a session on Monday, and so I wanted to give a few extra minutes to any of the beginners who had further questions, and we had a really good Q&A session at the end for, I think we went for another 20, almost 30 minutes, and so I may give a 5 to 10 minute session today when we finish at 4 o'clock for anyone who's new and feel like you have a lot of questions and you don't want to take time away from active trading. At 4 o'clock when we're done trading, if you have any questions, I'll make myself available. Yep, that's a good one, Vivian. Always feeling like every trade that's available, you have to catch it. Like, oh my God, the price is moving. I need to get in. And it's like, you can get in, but you're going to get in at a bad position. And so any retracement, you're almost certain to be in drawdown. And there's going to be another setup in another few hours. In fact, it may retrace back to the entry of this trade and you can get in again. So, I try to stay away from FOMO, even though I still have it sometimes. I'm not going to say I don't, because I do. Okay, we're getting close to half past the hour, so almost 3:30. See, we did get a retracement on this last candle. Well, back into the last candle. In fact, let me delete this. But we see price pushing higher again, so it didn't stall it for too long. But let's see where this one ends up. We still have 4 minutes, so it's pretty new. We want to see if, well, actually, we're looking for a new swing. So this will be the third leg of a swing high, unless we can take out 945 level. And wherever this candle closes, we want the next candle to go higher than the wick. It's slow grinding, but it's getting up there. Hey, price is definitely slowed down on us. Let me check and see where everyone else is. Okay, the dollar still not doing much. Not doing much at all this hour. Neither is the Dow. We're not getting anything out of the Dow. It's back at its opening value. It traded up a little bit to start the hour, but it's now back at its opening value. S&P is showing it's a little bit lower on the hour than it opened up. And where we see the Nasdaq is exactly the same as what the Dow is doing. So it's right back at its opening value. It traded up to start the hour and then traded back down. So that's essentially from like right here at 925, it traded up to 945 And now we're back at 925. For NQ, so for me on NQ, and this is for Bob, stop loss, I try to keep it under 20, but I'm willing to go as high as 25 because it's $20 per point. So that gives me a stop anywhere from $400 to $500. Now, when I'm looking at a stop of that size, I'm generally going into a 1 to 2 setup. So that means that $400 stop loss is going to hopefully produce $800 take profit if I'm on side. But yeah, I remember in ES, if I'm not mistaken, I think I used to do like 5 or 6 handles. So it will end up being $250 to $300 somewhere in that range. Was my stop loss. And then I would always look for a 10-point take profit. So $500 was always sort of the range that I played in whenever I did ES. And now moving over to Nasdaq is when I started looking for larger take profits, but I'm also willing to risk a little more. All right, so now that we had the close of this candle here, so we have this swing high. We have a high in the center, a lower high to the left, and a lower high to the right. We want to make sure this lower high to the right, we want to pass that one. Give us an indication that we are moving higher. We don't want it to fail at this level at 939.75. We want it to push through. In fact, let me mark that up so we can keep an eye on it. Another 3 minutes on this candle. See if we can't reach 939 3/4. Yep. Yeah, so if you want to have exactly the same risk, and then yes, 15 points will give you that $300 risk that you were using on ES. Okay. Not the best sign in the world. We didn't really want to see this low swept. We wanted the high swept of that previous candle. Okay, let's see if it can stay higher than the EMA here. That's the EMA 20. Yeah, Dustin, I did throw the Discord together this weekend. It's still kind of bare and new. I'll continue to develop it and get everything situated so it has some structure. But it is available. I wanted to get those links in for all those ICT videos for anyone who's looking for further reference material to any of the concepts that I speak about. So if you're looking for those, they will be there. And I also put in Trading in the Zone book. But some of the other things that I want to do is I want to start throwing in maybe like a weekend outlook markup of the weekly chart, so we can frame up the the upcoming week. So I want to have that in there. And then maybe some daily executions or markups, some things that we have. Plus, you guys, the members, the subscribers, for you to be able to post your trades or some of the setups that you took or that you like. You see me every day doing mostly Nasdaq, but I know many of you are doing the E-mini S&P, and some of you are also trading a Dow, and you may be trading crude or gold or anything. And so I want to have an opportunity for because the chat here doesn't allow you to put links or anything, and so that allows all of us to continue to communicate, but it allows you to contribute a little more than you are during the chat. So hopefully the Discord becomes a supplemental area that we can all continue to communicate outside of the live streams. But we'll see. I'll continue to develop it, and we'll see where it goes. Go ahead and put up a measurement here just in case we start getting it to pull back on us. We're already now at 3:35, another 25 minutes left in the session. Another 35 minutes left if you are a funded trader and you have open positions or thinking about opening a position. Oh, okay. All right. Got it. I will. Yeah, it's my first go at it at the Discord. So there might be some issues. Just point them out. You say there's some permissions I need to do, Caveman? Anything you notice offhand, or do you want me to just to make another review of all the permissions to make sure everyone has the opportunity to post and do what they need? All right, let's see where is price now. Okay, we still haven't managed to take out this right side of the swing high, this wick high at 939. So we're still hopeful that it can take out that wick high. I do not want to see this low swept at 922. Right, these equal highs will be a good start, but we do want to see it continue to push at 939.75. And we want to see that one eclipsed. Oh, okay. All right. Thanks, Caveman. I will take that into consideration. I'll also do another sweep through just to go through all the options and just make sure that I'm aware of which ones are there and make the necessary changes. So hopefully in the next day or so, you'll see the Discord be a little more user friendly. But it is out there for anyone who wants to go and check it out, and hopefully it's useful. All right, those equal highs were taken, which is an excellent start. We still have 3 minutes left. See if we can't get the additional 3 points we need to break that high I have highlighted. And then from there, 948. Okay. All right, so I'll go through and just try to make sure the ones that should be read-only are made read-only and make sure that the others are available for people to update. Right, I'll give that a shot. Okay, another 2 minutes on this candle. We want to see, hopefully it can not pierce that low. That's right. That's 2 candles ago. We don't want to see that low pierce. We want to see it continue to move higher. Find some level of support, push through 939 and then push through 948. All right, we're almost at 3:45, so about 15 minutes left in the session. Maybe we'll get a 350 jolt of energy, and all of a sudden we'll see price start to run. We got that on several days last week, so it could happen again. Okay, good recovery. I like that. Right, it's first level at 939. Just want everyone to know that this is merely a level that I want to see eclipsed, so I know that price is still on its way to this high. But otherwise, this level means nothing. It's not like there's an entry or an exit or anything there. All right, 45 seconds. Link to the Discord. Mark, look in the description. Look in the description of the video. Oh, the 350. Yeah, I've been around for a while, so I've bumped into a bunch of different people, and whenever I hear something that I don't know, stays with me, I try to figure out how I can use it. And there's some other subscribers in the room who talk about the 350 algo. So that's really where that comes from. It's the other traders. So that's why I'm telling you all. I'm also learning from you just as much as you guys are learning from me. Okay, so we took out that high, which is a good sign that we're continuing higher, and we're going to look for these equal highs here. Anyone who was long down here and they held and got absolute diamond hands out there, congratulations to you. I'm not sure I could have done that, especially with the time of day that it is. But looks like we're going to go and smash through this in just a moment. Good thing to see us take out this high. That was a good sign. Get rid of this measuring tool. We don't need that any longer. You're kidding. 1 point away and it's already retracing again. Hmm. Hey, 3 more minutes. Let me just go ahead and put this low down. We're not interested in seeing that. Right, about another 90 seconds, and then we'll be at 350, and we'll see exactly what the last 10 minutes of trading is going to do today. Sometimes we see a big run up to a level of liquidity, especially if there's an obvious level that we're waiting for. Clearly, we've had this space here marked up since before 2 o'clock. We're almost at 4 o'clock now, and we see price just now getting back up there. Almost looks like an upside down head and shoulder. See price retrace back down. Maybe it'll break through here, sweep lows, and then run higher. We'll see. Interesting setup. 17-point stop loss here. 33-point TP. All right, final 10 minutes. We're here. We're already 1 month. We're into the second minute. Don't forget, when the session ends at 4 o'clock, I'll take Q&A from anyone who's been dying to ask a question, but for whatever reason hasn't asked it yet. Short leg up here. We trade down to 88% on this candle at 349. We then had a doji right afterwards, and we've been pushing upwards ever since. Let's see if we can't finally get this high of 948. We go back up to the 5 minute. There we go, finally. It only took us 2 hours. We tried to get it on this candle at 130. Okay, now let's just see how price closes. So it's good that it took that pool of liquidity. We have been looking for that to happen. And now the question is, what's next? Let me move this Fibonacci out of the way so we can see the candles. Let's see if we can't get back to this new week opening gap before the close of today. That'll get us up to the 956 level. It's also a level that we see price pass through several times throughout the week. So it just seems natural that it would find a home there at the end of today, the first trading day of the week after a holiday. Yep, and for anyone who missed early on, tomorrow morning, 8:30, core retail sales and retail sales month over month, both will be released. We have this World Economic Forum annual meetings that they do every year this week, and they do it all week long. So there's going to be somebody speaking about what they think the global financial markets are going to be like for the rest of the year. So we're going to be having that interrupt our trading all week long. But there's nothing as far as a time slot that they're going to make some statement that we need to be aware of. It's just they're meeting all week, and there'll be comments coming out whenever. But tomorrow morning, 8:30, we do have high impact news for 2 different items. And then we have a medium impact news at 9:15. So that's what we'll need to think about tomorrow morning as we're entering the opening bell and looking for new levels. And as I was on the other screen, I just said, wouldn't it be nice if we ran into the new week opening gap? And look what happened. 50%. Let's see if it rejects from there, and that ends up being our high for this afternoon session. I can drop some of this artwork since we don't need it any longer. Right, another 3 minutes or so on the session today. So everyone, if you can go ahead and start throwing in the questions that you may have, we'll get the session started right at 4 o'clock. I do not simulcast on Discord, YouTube. Nope, I just do live here on YouTube and Discord. I just created this weekend. It's more of just another place that we can communicate back and forth. We can post charts or ask questions or any of those kind of things. Whereas here in the chat, it's me talking. We're all typing and we can communicate that way, but I'm the only one who's able to speak. And then I'm also the only one who can post a link or anything into the chat. So at least on the Discord, you guys can post your own charts and show me what you're looking at, or maybe some a good setup that you had. All right, so we see price just rejected off the 50%. Let's see if it continues to push. I'll move up to the 15, so it's fewer. So we don't have to worry about so many candles. All right, everyone, we're getting to about 2 minutes before the end of the session today. Normally I would ask for everyone to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, all that good stuff. But today I think it might be pertinent to ask for each person who's here and who enjoyed the live stream today. If you would, go ahead, take today's video and share it with someone else. Most of us know at least one other trader, whether they're at the very beginning level or they're at the same level we're at. But most of us know another trader or someone else that we're communicating with. So share the video with them and offer them the opportunity to discover what you've discovered and to come join us for a live session. I think that'll be great as far as us building the room, but also we'll build the room with people that we already are familiar with and trust. So if you could share the video, that would be excellent. All right, so we saw price completely disrespect the new week opening gap, trade above it. We might even get a close above it in the next 50 seconds. We'll see. Keep in mind, we're looking at the 15-minute right now. Finally broke through 948, and now we put another 20 points on top of that, and it's still going. 15 more seconds. Triple H next live tomorrow morning at 9:15, so 15 minutes before the opening bell. Make sure you turn on the notifications go into where you subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification, and YouTube will send an alert to your device tomorrow morning. All right, we did get a close above the new week opening gap. Sweet. I believe that also may have given us a bullish candle for the day, because we were showing a bearish candle. Oh, we're slightly bullish. Let's take a look at this for a second. Oops, sorry. All right. Look at this daily. This is the last 3 days. So last Thursday, Friday, they skipped yesterday, and then here's today. How's that for price action on a daily level? Oh, Zach, you're right on, spot on, Zach. We were looking at the same thing. Oh, thanks, Bob. That's really, really nice words you're sharing with me. I appreciate it. I'm glad that you're finding value here. There are several others that I talk to every day, so I can start to see that we're building a group here that's going to be quite strong. So with that being said, it's now 1 after the hour. I want to thank everyone for joining the session today. I really do appreciate it. It's been a good one. Not only because there was a winning trade, but we had some good dialogue. Also, price action was favorable for us today, so at least it gave us something to look at and something to do, as opposed to just consolidating. So yeah, we had a great session, and thank you all for joining. For everyone who has to go, I'm back tomorrow morning, 9:15. Hopefully you can join. If not, tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon at 1300 is the afternoon session. Those links are already out there. And now I want to turn over and do a little Q&A. And when the questions stop, we'll end the session today. But yeah, for all the traders, thank you for being here. It was great. All right, let's see what kind of questions we have. And if we don't have any, that's fine too. All right, let me put this back down to the 5 minute just for anyone who's still looking at it. Drop some of these lows. Oh, thank you very much. Thanks for the likes, guys, everyone. Thank you. That's awesome. All right, Bob, see you tomorrow. All right, more rice, more rice. Thank you for that. I'm glad that you find it beneficial to your trading. So yeah, you've been here for almost 2 weeks. Well, keep coming back. Hopefully your trading improves and you can be funded soon and moving towards your financial goals. Do I use market profile? Not really. Not really. And that's probably only because it's one of those things where you start out and you start learning everything. And you try to put everything into every trade and you realize it's just too difficult to do. And so then you have to simplify things a bit and start weeding out the things that you aren't so good at, focus on the things you are, and try to make the best trades you can with that tool set. Managing psychology is just another issue, but once you got all that together, you can be a profitable trader. So I'll continue to add more things to the toolbox, but as of right now, no, I'm not using that. Right? What else you got? Still have 57 people in the room. I'm sure someone else has a question. All right, it's another 4 minutes before Topstep and Apex cuts your accounts off. So anyone who's in a trade, keep that in mind. You got another 4 minutes to close your position. All right, so 3 days, and Nasdaq is at the same position it was when it started Thursday. Well, Wednesday at 1800, we're at the exact same position. Right, so it's been almost a week, and the market hasn't moved. It moved up, but every time it moves, it returns back to its original value. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow may actually be that day where we get something. We've been able to find good trades in the middle of all of this, but nothing's just been a huge runner because every bit of progress is always retraced back to origin. Okay, let's see, what indicators are you using for the new week opening gap and opening prices? Okay, I'll show you what I have. So the new week opening gap, new day opening gap is one by Kryptonite, NWOG/NDOG. And these are my settings. So on a new week, I asked for the last 13 weeks. So that gives me a quarter worth of data. On the new day opening gap, I just asked for 4 days. So that's 1 week worth. Let's see, what other changes did I make? I think that might be all I have on this one. Now for my session highs and lows, I use one that's called TGFX. If that's what you're talking about, the one that has like the New York high, London high, Asia low. There may be a free one out there, but this one is not a free one. This is one that was developed by another trader, and I was in their training program a few years ago, and this was something free that they gave to everyone who joined. And so that's how I was able to get this. But otherwise, it's normally not free. You would have to buy it. But I'm sure there's some free ones out there that does the exact same thing that'll give you the session highs and lows. Hope that helped, Golden. Also, don't forget about this one, Golden, the FVG Nephew Sam for the fair value gaps. It'll draw them in automatically for you, so you don't have to remember to put them in and then delete them once they're no longer valid and continue to go back and forth. The only problem with this indicator is that if you like to do like inverse fair value gaps, or you like to leave them on there even if it's traded through just in case it trades back to it, you will lose out on that in those moments. So you'll have to then draw them manually. No problem, Track. Thank you. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. It's good to have you. I like it when everyone now is joining in and saying hello and putting their name in the chat. It's good that we have that, and hopefully we can get more of that going forward. I want everyone to feel comfortable to come and introduce themselves and speak. Let's see, what other questions do we have? All right. Again, anyone in a trade, you got about 15 seconds. We just had to retrace into the new week opening gap. It's now trading out of it. But if you're on a funded challenge or a funded trader, you should be closing your trade now. At least it's close to the highs, so you don't have any drawdown. All right, there it is. Trading for funded accounts is now closed at 410. Hey, possibly golden Satoshi. Sure. Yeah, I don't see a problem with that. I like the silver bullet as well. I like the unicorn. I like breakers. I like the optimal trade entry. And I also like the 2022 model that ICT uses. So I use pretty much most of the things that he's taught to some capacity. I may not be an expert or have everything dialed in exactly the way he does. But for the most part, I'm doing most of ICT's trading strategies. Yep. But good luck with your stream coming up. Good luck. All right, team. And let's see if we got anything else. I'll give it another minute or so to see if a question pops up, and then we'll have to call it a session if not. Okay, got it. So you start with the macro before the silver bullet, trade into the macro after, and then you'll do the opening bell. Okay. Yeah, that 920 to 940, I generally stay away from the opening bell just because for the most part, I've done the silver bullet or 2022, and I've tried to focus on doing that during the 10 o'clock hour. So I was usually never trading before 10 o'clock. And so I always avoided the opening bell. And so now that I start the live stream before the opening bell, I'm still not comfortable taking a trade there. Oh, thanks, Golden Satoshi. It was, yeah, it wasn't easy to get here. I'll tell you that. But I did have some good people to watch, and I was, join other people's live stream to see how they traded, and I was amazed at how comfortable they were being in drawdown. I was amazed at how comfortable they were sitting on their hands and doing nothing. Like all those things are great trades to have if you're a day trader. And so I was able to then start to model my trading after that by having that as a goal that I wanted to achieve. Um, and it helps that I'm sitting here in front of all of you because when I know there's a room full of people watching me, I know I need to be on my best behavior and do the best I can. So FOMO, it helps from staying away from FOMO. It also helps from, going full tilt and revenge trading and all those things. Um, I would say it was because I spent all of last year paper trading. So I spent my first year losing money in a real account, which was not the smartest thing to do, but that's how most of us start. We all learn a couple concepts, we get overly confident, and then we fund an account and we get started. So that's what I did first. That didn't work out well, obviously. But I spent last year just paper trading all year long, and I was able to take an account from 20K or so, and I built it to an amazing amount that I wish I actually had in real money. But what that taught me was that not only could I see the trade set up, um, but I was right a lot of the time. Um, Now, fast forward to now where I'm in a funded challenge. I now see the difference between paper trading and doing a funding challenge, right? Because now it feels a little bit more like it's my money as opposed to paper trading where I could sit around and not touch my stop loss. I could have all the discipline that I needed and everything would work out the way that I wanted. So that was so that's the most difficult part this year was transferring over to where the results actually mean something and it's not just in a paper account. So kind of flipping that switch in my mind. Absolutely. And so with the streams, all of my trading, unless I mean I do some after hours from time to time, but for the most part, all of my trading is now recorded and on YouTube. All right, Golden Satoshi. See you next time. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being a part of the chat here. Cool, calm, collected. I like that. There you go. Did the same thing. Yep. Sorry, Vivian. I hope that answered your question. Was that I built up a track record of making good trades for a full year on the paper account, and that's what gave me the confidence that I could do it. All right, Vivian. Take care. We'll talk tomorrow morning, 9:15 for anyone joining the early session. 1300 for anyone joining the second session. And I think that's probably all the questions. I don't see any more. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you one more thank you for joining. Hopefully everyone's already subscribed. Hopefully everyone has already liked today's video. And so one last time, if you could share with another trader that you know, or someone who's even interested in trading and has never done it, we'll take those people as well. We all start somewhere. So with that, I want to thank everyone for being here today. Thank you very much. We'll talk again, hopefully tomorrow. Cheers, everyone.